I want to give a special shout out to the sponsor of this video, Manscaped. So Manscaped recently just launched their Lawnmower 4.0, and listen, if you are a guy who does a lot of shaving underneath, the Lawnmower 4.0 is the perfect tool for you because listen, my first time shaving a couple of months ago went terrible. I had a bunch of scrapes, I had a bunch of bruises, and I also had patches because I didn't finish the job. So when Manscaped sent me the Lawnmower 4.0, I used it, and I was a little bit scared, okay? Because I was like, I ain't trying to give myself patches and give myself injuries like I did last time, my first time shaving. But when I used the Lawnmower 4.0, let me tell you guys something. It was a easy process. I had no scrapes, no bruises. It was no pain. Listen, if you're a guy who does a lot of shaving underneath, make sure that you guys go ahead and cop the Lawnmower 4.0 using my promo code JT for 20% off plus free shipping off your Manscaped purchase. Once again, make sure that you guys use promo code JT for 20% off your purchase plus free shipping. Your balls will thank you. I had a good friend of mine who asked me to make a video on who I believe will be the future at quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers when Ben Roethlisberger decides to retire, between Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins. Now, we all know that Ben Roethlisberger is pretty much on his last leg. This probably will be his last season in the NFL before he decides to hang it up. Now, Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins, I don't have any confidence and any faith in either one of those guys to be the future at quarterback to lead the Steelers franchise when Big Ben decides to hang it up. Here's my reason why I don't believe in Mason Rudolph. If Mason Rudolph was indeed the guy, then he probably would be the starting quarterback right now. Ben Roethlisberger probably wouldn't even be playing anymore. He probably would have been hung it up. He probably would have been retired, because anytime you have an aging veteran on your roster and a good young quarterback behind them, normally if that young quarterback is good enough, he ends up dethroning the veteran. We've seen it several times. Like, you've seen Patrick Mahomes do it with Alex Smith. Like, we've seen this several times. So if Mason Rudolph was good enough to lead the Steelers franchise, I would expect him to already been the starting quarterback for Pittsburgh. And the fact that Pittsburgh decided to bring back Ben Roethlisberger shows you everything you need to know about how they feel about Mason Rudolph. Now, I understand that Mason Rudolph had a good Week 17 performance against the Cleveland Browns, and that has to get some recognition, because it's not like he was going against backups and third stringers. He was going against a Cleveland Browns team that was playing for a spot in the playoffs. But I've seen Mason Rudolph play for over the last couple of years, and I simply don't really have a lot of faith in him. Because I feel like Mason Rudolph has had several opportunities to come in and take the job from Ben Roethlisberger, and he hasn't done it yet. Like, Ben Roethlisberger has had a lot of poor performances during the last stretch of the 2020 NFL season. But yet, there's a reason why Mike Tomlin didn't bench Big Ben, why he just kept Big Ben in the game. If Mike Tomlin and the Steelers had confidence in Mason Rudolph's ability to lead the franchise, then I'm pretty sure they would have benched Ben Roethlisberger, and we would have saw Mason Rudolph in those games. But we didn't. So, Dwayne Haskins was a guy who was a former first-round pick a couple of years back out of Ohio State. He didn't really work out in Washington because of maturity issues, wasn't really ready to be a day one starter. Now, Dwayne Haskins does have a good amount of upside. A lot of people can compare him to Ben Roethlisberger. I understand that, but I don't think Dwayne Haskins is nowhere close to Ben Roethlisberger, because Ben Roethlisberger could run. A lot of people forget that when Big Ben was in his prime, he was super athletic. Dwayne Haskins is a pure pocket passer. There's not really a lot of athletic ability in Dwayne Haskins. And I'm tired of seeing Pittsburgh have these prototypical drop back pocket passing quarterbacks that can't really pick up anything with their legs. Like, I would like for Pittsburgh to bring in a quarterback that actually has some true dual threat ability, which is why I wanted the Steelers to draft Lamar Jackson a couple of years back. So I look at Pittsburgh, you look at Mason Rudolph, I don't believe in him, and I don't believe in Dwayne Haskins because you're expecting me to believe in a guy who couldn't work in Washington, a Washington team that went to the playoffs last year with Ron Rivera. He was immature, wasn't really that good when he was on the field. And it's not like I'm saying Dwayne Haskins can't turn it around in Pittsburgh. All I'm saying is that why should I put my confidence and my trust in a guy who couldn't really do anything with the Washington team that went to playoffs with Alex Smith, a guy who Washington didn't really want for real? So I don't understand why I should be confident in Dwayne Haskins, a guy who was perceived to be a bust up to this point, to lead the franchise. Like, I'm sorry if a lot of you Dwayne Haskins fans love Dwayne Haskins and feels like he's going to be the next guy in Pittsburgh, but I strongly don't believe that. You see, you know what they say? They say one man's trash is another man's treasure. But what if you find the trash and it's defective? It doesn't have anything that works. How am I going to believe that Dwayne Haskins has what it takes to lead the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise when, first of all, he's still super raw? He's not even better than Mason Rudolph at this point. I don't even think he's better than Joshua Dobbs. On top of that, he has a lot of things he has to work on. Not only that, but he also has maturity issues that he has to work on as well. So I don't really trust Dwayne Haskins to lead the Steelers moving forward. I would have more confidence in Mason Rudolph being the future at quarterback for Pittsburgh than I would Dwayne Haskins. Like, Dwayne Haskins is still really raw. He has so much he has to work on. So if Big Ben was to retire right now and I had to choose who would be the starter heading into the 2021 season, I would take Mason Rudolph. Dwayne Haskins just doesn't really have it. And he has a lot of things that he has to prove to me, not only this offseason, but next year as well, in terms of being able to lead this Steelers roster and end up being the guy. The first thing he has to do is he has to end up stealing that second quarterback spot from Mason Rudolph. That's the first thing he has to do. Second thing is he has to show to me that he is a different quarterback than what he was in Washington. A lot of Dwayne Haskins fans were saying, well, Dwayne Haskins is going to be different. Like, you know how many times I've seen people say that they were going to change and then they don't change? Like, you ever saw the kid who always got in trouble, he was about to get expelled, and he ends up shedding tears, boohoo crying, saying, I ain't gonna do it again, I promise you, I'll be different, and he ends up doing the same thing? You ever saw that woman who keeps getting done wrong by her boyfriend and she ends up taking him back because she believes that he's going to change, he's going to be different, and he never changes, he's still the same guy? So just because Dwayne Haskins comes out and says that he's going to be a different person, he's looking at things differently, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. A lot of people sometimes are just all talk. You look at Dwayne Haskins, how do we know if he's going to change? Like, why should the Steelers put so much faith into Dwayne Haskins? Why not just draft a quarterback next year? So, in terms of who I believe will be the future at quarterback for Pittsburgh between Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins, I'm sorry if I have to give you a disappointing answer, but I really have no confidence in neither one of them. I know a lot of you guys are probably disappointed. You was expecting me to name somebody, but I simply don't believe it. If Mason Rudolph was good enough to be the future at quarterback for Pittsburgh, he will already be starting. But the fact that he hasn't been able to dethrone an aging and declining Ben Roethlisberger shows you that he's simply not really all that great. He may be a good backup. I believe that Mason Rudolph could be a really good backup, but as far as the future at quarterback for Pittsburgh, he still can't dethrone Big Ben. Like, there was a promo that John Cena did with Roman Reigns, right? And I can't remember how the promo went per se. I do know it was on Monday Night Raw. I don't watch wrestling like that, but it was in my recommended, and I watched it a couple of months ago. So basically, Roman Reigns was talking about how John Cena comes in, and he's always stealing the limelight from some of the younger stars on the roster and things like that. And John Cena said, it's a reason why I'm still here. The reason why I'm here is because you can't do your job. And what John Cena was referring to that was by saying that Roman Reigns is supposed to be the guy who's supposed to be carrying the company. If Roman Reigns was doing his job and carrying the company and selling tickets, selling pay-per-view buys and merchandise and things like that, there would be no need for a guy like John Cena. There would be no need for fans to constantly be cheering on for some of the older guys who've been in the wrestling industry for a long time. But the reason why the WWE still has guys like John Cena and some of these older wrestlers like Randy Orton still carrying the load, still being the face of the company, is because they haven't really had any younger superstars step up. When you look at Pittsburgh, Mason Rudolph hasn't really stepped up yet. If Mason Rudolph was good enough to be the future quarterback for Pittsburgh, he will already be starting. Ben Roethlisberger probably would have been retired by now. He'll probably be on another team somewhere else. So Mason Rudolph has been with Pittsburgh for the last couple of years, and we still haven't seen him show, any sign. Well, he has improved, but if he was indeed the guy, he would be the guy right now. There's a reason why Big Ben is still in Pittsburgh. You think Pittsburgh brought back Big Ben because they don't want to let him go? Like, this is a cutthroat business, okay? Teams don't care about loyalty. Teams don't care about how many Super Bowls you want them. Like, Tom Brady got told by Bill Belichick, essentially, hey, I can win without you. Like, you saw what Dallas did with Tony Romo. Like, this has happened so many times when you have an aging veteran quarterback that is on their last leg get their job taken by a young up-and-coming quarterback. Yet we haven't seen this situation played out with Mason Rudolph yet. So I'm sorry if a lot of you guys are disappointed at my answer, but I don't really have a lot of confidence in neither Mason Rudolph or Dwayne Haskins in terms of who can be the quarterback to lead the Pittsburgh Steelers when Big Ben decides to retire. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Do you guys feel differently? Do you guys have trust in Dwayne Haskins or Mason Rudolph and one of those guys being able to be the future quarterback for Pittsburgh when Big Ben decides to hang it up? Make sure that you guys like the video, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.